Hey, welcome back. Season 2 of the Dirty 30 Pod. What's up, boys? How we doing?
Doing great. Ready for season two officially. Kick things off.
Christian?
Glad to be back. I've had the number one pick the last 2 years now. I dealt it last year with Kyle, and there's some talks in the works, so you never know.
Always, man. Always.
Been
Staying busy. Up to 7 trades already. So we've been busy, and it's only August 10th, maybe something along
Yep.
those lines. So
And
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had fun with this last year. So I mean, hopefully the league has fun with it again. I think it was engaging. It was chaotic. I think everyone had a good time with it. It just kind of added a little spice to the league that's already pretty spicy. So yeah, pretty into it. So today we have three curious questions, kind of like what's on our brain is kind of a segment that we're doing, and then we're gonna go through the annual ranking of the keepers, right? This has been something we've been doing since we've had keepers. So I think this is our third year running. Christian went solo on it the first year, and then last year the pod went with it, and yeah, it's been fun, man. So hopefully people enjoy. Update: our draft was too easy to to get scheduled. Like,
unreal.
it was scary, like still kind of waiting for the shoe to drop here. But yeah, September 3rd, Sunday, September 3rd, Tanner's Place. We don't know the time yet, but we got all the boys. Marcus, Rody, everyone.
It's gonna be a good year.
Hell of a commitment from 10 guys. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a while. Someone put it in the group chat, like, "Hey, when's the last time?" And honestly, I don't remember. It's been
I think it was when we did it in the like uptown apartments. That's
Tanner's Place. You might
Yeah.
be right. Yeah, and that was a good 5 years ago, maybe at least
Plus,
at least plus. Yeah, yeah, could be. So
was
yeah,
that
I'm,
the Marius Thomas night? The
I think it was.
after
I think it
the
was.
after draft trade.
Yeah, and that's probably what's got me so excited is getting everyone together, staring at that board. Something's happening. So
oh yeah.
yeah,
Always.
let's get into it. Yeah, new segment this year. We're gonna just have we've been a month out. We've been thinking about fantasy football for a little while now. I got kind of three things on my brain that I just want to kind of add to the group and just kind of see what people are thinking about here. Something that's got me curious this year, and we'll get into it during the ranks, is like where do the quarterbacks go? I think is a big topic of where we haven't had quarterbacks be kept yet, right? Three studs are being kept. Where did the rest of them go? Did they go early? Do they go mid? Do they go late? I think that's just something that's got me curious and thinking about this year.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, because we didn't talk about these beforehand, so like
No.
you didn't give us an opportunity to like really think and like just right off the top. I gotta think. I gotta think since Mahomes is being kept, Hurts is being kept, and then you have Allen as like the last of that top tier. Someone's gonna take him in the second round, and then after that, I don't know how it falls. I think you have like that Lamar Burrow deal, but like I don't know. I maybe Herbert, but then I think it drops to like the fourth, fifth. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, but I think once one of like the Lamar, Burrow, Herbert goes, I think it's like
Might get dicey.
the next five picks, they're all gone.
Might be a
Like,
little QB run action going on.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's this league has always been wait until the last possible pick for a quarterback. But like now we got keepers, and now ADP is telling us to take them in the first 5 rounds. And yeah, just curious. I don't know if there's a right answer or not, but what's your
yeah. That's
thoughts?
that's my take.
What's your thoughts, Debbie?
Have fun with that, nerds. That's all I gotta say.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Another thought I've had is I think this league's gotten smart when it comes to value, right? There isn't a whole lot of like top 3 round keepers being kept anymore. Right, Travis Kelce in the second, like that's a fucking slam dunk, right? I'm not bitching about that at all. Cooper Kupp in third, pretty solid, right? Yeah, but outside of that, like it is like 6th round and on, man. Like and if you look at the board a few years ago, like a lot of first, second, third round keepers being kept. So yeah, just something I'm curious about. Just wanted to bring that one up. Anyone else see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I completely agree. Yeah. I mean, going through the rankings were pretty tough. I mean, there are a couple guys at the bottom where I'm like, that's not who I would keep. But I mean, realistically, there's nobody I would say being kept that's like you're overvaluing them, I would
Sure.
say.
Agreed.
Yeah, the keepers this year were definitely tough to rank, and yeah, everybody's been spot on. So, but that, like you said, just goes to show that it's a tough league and people know their shit. So
Tough league, things has gotten good. It's that value versus stud, which I think like we'll touch on here a little bit when we get into ranks. Yeah, third thing on my brain is just what other food are we bringing besides the brisket? Tanner's cooking off a brisket. We know Eric's bringing some fruit more than likely. What what's everyone?
he brought Oreo thing last year. You could give him a little bit of a break, but it's probably going to be fruit.
I gotta give Eric some shit, but yeah, those are kind of my 3 things on my brain here. So
I am excited for food. I am excited for the food.
I've been racking my brain on what to make. So we'll see.
I haven't figured it out yet either, but we'll get into it here.
The brisket's gonna be good.
Oh hell yeah, man! Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with a brisket here.
Tanner's been practicing too, so I see it on his snap all the time.
Okay, well that's good to know. Good to know. Yeah, let's get into it. This is kind of why starts off the year, right? Kind of gets everyone's juices flowing here. Where'd you guys start when you guys come up with your ranks, 1 through 20? Well, how'd you guys start your process?
You mean after we put Chase at 1?
That's where I started, right?
Yeah. That was that's probably been the most no-brainer keeper number 1 rank that we've had. And I think because last year you could have said Jefferson, you could have said Chase, but this year it's clear as day.
Yeah. I mean, I think last I looked, he's going like 3rd off the board. So to get him in the 7th round, Eric enjoy the bumper sticker, but yeah, I mean it's a solid sticker, man. Solid sticker.
He needs another one.
I would say where I started, I definitely looked at kind of like ADPs, but also like realistically, I mean, because like you don't always have to agree with an ADP. I mean, because for instance, like I have Chris Olave kind of middle of the pack where he's way higher on your list, Matt. He's a little closer to where I have him for Devin, but
they're like diagonal.
it's like I think he's being highly overdrafted in like normal snake drafts because he's going in that like Devontae Smith, like that middle area of like kind of early 3rd to middle late 3rd. And
yeah,
I don't know. We haven't seen Carr there. Michael Thomas is supposed to be better. I just the Saints are just so hot and cold. I mean, they've had Alvin Kamara there for a few years and he's been boomer bust. So I just don't know if I can count on anybody really being a true stud in that offense right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I was just like, that's just an example, and then I went down the list, obviously quarterbacks I devalued just because, they're not as a hot priority in our league, despite me keeping one. And then, obviously like it's weird because you have like Nick Chubb at the bottom of mine. I would take Nick Chubb. If he's not kept, he's going to be a top 6 pick, probably. I mean, but having him in the 2nd round, there's just so many guys I'd rather keep, like you said, understanding the value. And I think getting him in the 2nd round, keeping him in the 2nd round, I don't think that's really a lot of value. So my ranks are based off value, not skill of the player.
Yeah. Me too, right? I mean, Nick Chubb was the example I was thinking of when we were talking value versus studs, right? Where I think he's like the 9th player off the board, but he's being kept in the second round, pick like 18 or whatever.
Sure.
Like I will smash Nick Chubb when he gets me at 8. But like 18, like it's a weird year where like we actually have like a first couple of rounds too, where like
this is the most exciting year of our
yeah,
draft thus far with keepers, for sure.
yeah. Like he's keeping Nick Chubb, but like there's a good chance like Najee is at him in the second, or Mixon, or Gibbs, or like similar players, And
Sure.
I think that's hard to pass up. And yeah, where'd you start, Dev? What's your process?
Yeah, just exactly what you guys were just talking about. I changed my list up this afternoon. I definitely shuffled some people around from what I had prior after having a conversation with you about the value and the stud kind of thing. Because in my mind, I had Kelsey, I think, was up there, and I think Cooper Kupp was at 3 and Kelsey was at 4, because I was just like, those are just steals, in the second round and third round. You're smashing that. And I was just like, how, those are like the best keepers. And then, just not even really thinking about the value aspect of things. Like I had Chubb up there too. I think Chubb is like my RB3 this year. I think I love the guy. I think he's going to be a monster.
Which I get. Yep, 100% get it.
Or whatever, But then, talking with you and everything, and just talking about some of those values and stuff like that, and my own personal, rankings with some of these people. I had to, move some things around. Garrett Wilson, 12th round. I love Garrett Wilson, especially this year, and that's why I have him so high. So just kind of bumping those guys up, Cup went down a little, and Kelsey went down a lot more, but they're still not towards the bottom or anything on that. So definitely did some shuffling, but
yeah, I think like Travis Kelsey is like the outlier. Like if you wanted to keep Kelsey in the first round, I would get that kind of,
Sure.
just with him being a tight end and
right.
Yeah, but I had the same process. It was Chase up top, smash all those wide receivers, the Waddle, Wilson, Olave, Devonta Smith, Cooper, like all those guys are kind of in there. And then, yeah, I mean, I had the quarterbacks lower, but like I say that and I get keeping each of those quarterbacks. Like
100%.
I do. I'm not yelling at it whatsoever. Each one of those quarterbacks can be the number one quarterback. They can ruin fantasy. Like I get it. My brain has kind of shifted a little bit on that thought. So yeah.
And I don't mean to take the floor, but like who, I guess, looking at each person's list, like, so Matt, I would say like looking at Dev's list and looking at my list, like who's one guy that kind of stands out that you're a little like surprised, good or bad, at where we ranked them?
Yeah, good question. Oh man,
I mean, like we're pretty similar on a lot of guys.
We are. We're pretty similar.
Dotson was a wrinkle that I didn't know if I was prepared for. I mean, but it's still kind of the same thing. It's like hell of like incredible value in the 15th round, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Dotson, he was scoring a touchdown a game the first like 5 weeks, and it's like new quarterback. I like Howell more than most, but like it's still like Washington's offense, and he's still a wide receiver 2 there. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I mean that's probably the one that we're most off with. I would say
I'm with you there, right? I am. I think we should come back to Eric's fear of Dallas Goedert here eventually, right? I like the question though. I think how low each of us had Breece Hall, right? We're similar thought process, but how low each of us had Breece Hall, I thought was interesting. A lot of factors in there, right? But third round, yeah, just kind of coming off the injury, I think he's a beast, I thought that was kind of.
If he wasn't hurt, how would that change?
I don't know.
It's still a third round pick, right?
Third round pick. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd rather have all those receive. I mean,
yeah.
I'd
Looking
rather
at
have
it,
Ramondre. I'd rather have Ramondre. I probably would
me
put
too.
him right behind Ramondre on
Me
my
too.
list.
Me too. Me too. No, you're right. I don't think I'd move him up that much. Yeah, I think your lowness on Dotson and Cooper surprised me, but I get it. It's a hard list, right? Um, Dev's got Devonta Smith a little lower than I would, but outside of that, I mean, we are pretty similar.
I was surprised Madison was as low on everyone. I thought I was going to be way lower on Madison than everybody else.
Mhm.
But you guys are Vikings fans, so I felt good that I was kind of in line with that. So
I'm hoping he can prove us wrong. I'd like to see it.
He's a tough one. He's
Yeah.
a tough one to rank, like
and I feel the same thing about Pollard, and they're both roadies keepers. And it's like,
Mhm.
Pollard could be super, super solid and he's good value, but I just don't know if he can like keep it or if he was just kind of the guy that sparked the offense when Zeke was just out of shape.
Yeah. 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 And they possibly add someone too, right? I
I'm
mean,
on the
it's
same I'm on the same page. Yeah,
right. I mean,
Zeke could go back.
right. They haven't yet, but they possibly do. And he's still a fine value in the eighth, whether Zeke goes back or not,
Yep.
Yeah, let's get into it. Who is the best keepers? Who is the worst keepers? What came to your guys' mind?
I think I would say I mean I think ever since the trade for ETN, I think that really helped your case, Matt.
Sure.
Getting Wilson and ETN, I mean, obviously both are top 4 in all of our lists. So, I mean, I get maybe that's like too chalky, but I also, and I know he's keeping Kelsey, but I think the decision to keep Devonta Smith was the right decision for Marcus.
Me too. I like
Yeah.
I like Marcus's too.
You're getting the number 1 tight end, and it's not even close. I mean, the difference between Kelsey and Andrews or Kelsey and Hawkinson is the difference between Hawkinson and like Okonkwo. I mean, it's a huge gap. And Devonta Smith, he's a wide receiver too, but he's
also
he's gonna put up good numbers in a good offense.
he's also like the 12th wide receiver off the board. Like, he's just like
Getting him in like the 10th round or something like that. Like,
yeah. Yeah. How about you, Dev?
Outside of Matt, Marcus.
Nice. Who'd you have, Debbie?
No, I agreed. Obviously you got Wilson and ETN up there. That's insane value, and you can't top that really. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a couple other names. I agree with myself, Marcus. I had Dev's team. I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
ARSB, Ramrod, can't go wrong there. In the 8th and the 7th, or 8th and the 5th, 7th and the 5th, something like that.
5 and 7, yeah.
And then I like Olave more than the both of you, but I think Tanner has some nice keepers with Cooper Kupp and Olave. I thought that was
100%. I should have included him on my
that
list.
was yeah.
Yeah, looking now. Yeah.
I thought that was nice too. Who has the worst ones? I got 2 names on my list. I'm curious if we have the same or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to say anything negative because I'm so clearly lower on. I mean, I guess I'm not too much lower on Chubb than you guys. Because is it Chubb and Pierce that Dirk's keeping? Then yeah, I mean, like, I feel like there's better value that he can keep on his team, and I'm going to let him decide that. But if he comes away with Chubb, he's going to have a hell of a second round pick, right?
Sure.
Obviously. But
Yep.
Pierce, I'm a little too afraid of the offense. Obviously, he's the last guy on all of our lists.
Mhm.
I feel like it's just so much like limited ceiling there where because I believe he has, I think
He's in the 8th round.
Dobbins and Akers. I mean, I don't care for Dobbins as much, but
Or
Akers
or Debo again. Like
or
he's
Debo. Yeah,
options, man. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, I think his keepers will change a little bit. I think one of those two are gonna switch by the time the draft comes. And then I would say my other, I know this is kind of a hot take, and I wouldn't say they're bad keepers, but I think I'm not in love with Rhodey's keepers.
Okay.
I just because I'm not a fan of the player. I think the value's there. I'm just not a fan of the player.
Sure.
I think I would agree with that, actually.
That was not the name on mine. I had Derek, right? I agree with Pierce and Chubb. They're fine, right? I'm not two starting running backs, right? Not going.
Oh yeah.
He
has a high pick. He has an early pick too, so he could like get a really good player
for sure.
For sure.
I mean, Craig was mine though.
I was gonna say, were you gonna say Krog?
Yeah, Hurts and Hall, and this hurts, right? Like I like Breece Hall a lot, right? Yeah, just the quarterback, and then I wait and see with Breece Hall, right? But yeah, just it's fine. It's fine,
That's actually funny you say that, because like I know I was kind of talking about how I ranked my guys for value, and like I feel like Rhodey has so much better value than Craig with those running backs, but I love the players so much more.
I get
Craig.
that.
Hurts is probably going to be QB 3 at worst.
For sure.
If Breece is healthy, he's top 10 probably in that offense. So
nope, I'm with you. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. We'll send this out here as we get the pod posted. Yeah, I mean it's always fun. It's a good time. It's hard list to do for sure.
This year especially, like we brought it up. I mean, just a bunch of great keepers, and you can make a case for any of them. So
Yep, for sure. Last couple of things here. Next week's pod is we're doing off-season trade grades. We already got 7 of them. We'll kind of give out some grades like we did previous years, and we're going to talk through some AFC players that we like, dislike, like maybe like a wild card or some kind of third category we haven't quite thought about yet. But I'm gonna let you guys take the floor here, because there was a big discussion amongst our 3 little group chat here regarding Bijan Robinson, and I don't know, I'll let you guys kind of discuss what was brought up, and whether or not there's going to be a bet placed on this.
Go ahead, Christian.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So obviously I think the talent's there. I am not a Bijan fan. I can promise you, if I had the 10th pick in the first round, I would not take Bijan Robinson if he was on the board. I understand he's rated so highly, but Atlanta has a good offensive line. They run more than almost anyone, which I don't know how, because they're always down. I think that's just bad coaching. But I also think that Algier going for 1,000 last year, Patterson getting, hawking touchdowns by the goal line, Ritter being unproven. My biggest thing is they had the most athletic tight end prospect of all time. He has I think Matt has as many touchdowns in 2 years as he does, pretty close. And I mean, why should I assume they're just going to bring in Bijan Robinson and know how to use him, and he's going to go for over 1,000 yards and all this stuff? It's I mean, at best, he's probably getting 50% of, maybe a little bit more than 50% of snaps, but how many times is he getting the ball? How many times is he facing an 8-man box? How many times is Ritter really going to be able to get him the ball? I don't know. I'm not a Bijan fan, but we are speaking to the Bijan stan on the other side.
What do you got, Debbie?
He's the man. It's a new year, baby. It's Ritter's got another year, and this guy is just a freak. So I don't know. Everything you stated makes sense. I get it. I just think that what's the over under is 1,999 yards.
So the bet discussed was originally, we did a bunch of pizza bets last year. The over under for Bijan is 1,099.5 yards for the year. Christian said, I'm smashing the under. Dev said, nope, I'm smashing the
rushing
over.
yards, correct?
Rushing yards, yes,
Yes.
rushing yards. And yeah, we get on here today and we say, hey, like this is a season-long bet. It's worth more than a pizza, right? So we got to decide, but we got the first bet on the board here. Maybe
I think Dev and I can agree that when the draft comes around, so September 3rd, we will have the stipulations in place for that bet.
hell
100%.
yeah, dude, love it.
Got like
Love
just
it.
under a month to figure it out. No problem.
Sounds good, boys. Well, Zoom's telling us to get off here, so this was fun. We'll bring 3 more before the draft, and yeah, we'll kind of get after things. So excited to get back after it with you boys this year.
Gonna
Yeah,
be fun.
good first episode. It's gonna
For
be
sure.
awesome year.
Should be
sure.
fun. A lot of fun.
Later.